But I can honestly say, after hours of listening, what's up, internet? I'm Brian MacDuff, aka BMac, and welcome to another video. So today we're going over a pair of headphones that I quite honestly think might be the best budget pair of headphones that you could get right now. These are the JBL Tune 510BT on-ear headphones, and I think they're actually one of the best sounding pairs of headphones that you might not have even heard about. So let's get right into it and start talking about the design of these headphones and how things look and feel when you're actually wearing them. First things first, you are gonna notice that these are on-ear headphones. Personally, I do prefer an over-ear design with my headphones, but these are on-ears, just something to point out to make sure you're aware of. And one thing you'll probably immediately notice is how light these things are. These weigh in at just under 160 grams, and a lot of that does have to do with the fact that they're completely made of plastic, but that's still somewhat surprising considering how much padding you have around the ear cups themselves, as well as that little bit of padding in the headband. The ear cups themselves do offer quite a bit of flex and some rotational capabilities here, which allows them to self-adjust to various head shapes and sizes. But one thing I do have to point out is that after some extended listening periods, I do find the clamping pressure of these headphones to be a little bit too aggressive for my personal taste. I know that with on-ear headphones, you do need some clamping pressure, at least a little bit more than over-the-ear headphones, to allow them to stay stable and to allow them to actually stay in place on your ears. But for longer listening sessions, I definitely started to notice that clamping pressure. It started to decrease the level of comfort that I was experiencing, which introduced ear fatigue much sooner than I was hoping I would. They're available in 4 different colors. They come in black, white, blue, or rose, all of which look very nice, as you would expect. It is also worth pointing out here that you're not getting any kind of carrying case with the 510BTs. They do collapse down, which makes them somewhat more portable. At least that's a nice feature to have. But you do have to make sure that you're careful when doing so, because the natural way of you going about this, they kind of fold in half, and then you kind of want to fold them again. That's just kind of the way they are, which you don't want to do, because if you started to fold them any more than this, you're gonna snap them in half. So just be wary of that. No carrying case, they do fold down, but I do wish they had a carrying case because that would prevent these from so easily perhaps snapping, especially if they're in your suitcase or something. I'm telling you, that headband could snap pretty easily, so just be careful folding them down. Now, in addition to those design elements, you do also get some track controls, physical buttons that allow you to actually control the playback when you're listening to the headphones. And on the JBL 510BTs, you do have 4 physical buttons. You do have a volume up button, a volume down button, an action button between those two, and then last but not least, your power button. Now, the way these buttons work and their corresponding track controls are a little bit different than you might expect. Yes, the volume buttons work to control volume up, volume down, but the middle action button actually doesn't operate as a track control button like it usually does on other pairs of headphones. On these, the action button is actually only used for playing or pausing your music, answering or hanging up phone calls, toggling mute, or if you double press it, accessing your voice assistant. So what this means is that you cannot skip or backtrack your songs using the action button, and the way you actually do so is a little bit trickier than you might be used to. To control your music, you're actually gonna ignore the action button altogether. To skip a song, you're gonna press and hold on the volume up button for 2 seconds, or to start a song over or to backtrack, you're gonna do the complete opposite by pressing down on the volume down button for 2 seconds. Usually, you'd be able to just double tap or triple tap that action button to control that music, but a little bit different on the JBL 510BTs here. Definitely gonna take some getting used to. Little weird, little funky. I definitely prefer a more straightforward approach, but if we're keeping things relative here, at least we still do get that level of control. Better to have it than to not have it. And since I did mention that you could just double press the action button to invoke your voice assistant, yes, this does mean to top all that off, the JBL 510BTs do come with a built-in microphone. And speaking of that microphone, I usually don't care a whole heck of a lot about microphone quality, but I know there are some of you out there who do, so what's the deal with the microphone in these, and is it up to par? I figured the best way of demonstrating that for you is to just use the microphone for some voice memo recording and allow you to decide for yourself, so let's do just that. This is what the microphone quality on the JBL 510BT on-ear headphones sounds like. This was audio that was captured in the Voice Memos app on my iPhone, so hopefully this gives you a good idea of the kind of microphone quality that you could expect. Not amazing, but pretty solid. But the main area where these JBL headphones shine is actually the area that prompted me to make this entire video to begin with, the sound quality, and how these babies actually sound when you're listening to them. I'm just gonna come right out and say it. These might actually be one of the best sounding budget pairs of headphones that I've tried out in quite some time. Maybe ever. at least up until the time of recording this video. Now, out of the box, the JBLs aren't the most balanced pair of headphones. In fact, they are a little bit heavy in the bass section. Even though the mids and the highs do sound good and provide a lot of detail and clarity, things do get a little muddy across the EQ spectrum because of that slightly emphasized bass, especially in bass-heavy songs, and unfortunately, you don't get any kind of companion app to adjust EQ here, so you're kind of just stuck with what you're getting out of the box. But I do think that with a slightly boosted bass response here in the JBL 510 BTs, I'm considering that actually more of an asset rather than a drawback, perhaps even making up for some of the other features you're not getting, like ANC. Plus, chances are, if you're really wanting a more balanced, accurate, and studio quality pair of headphones, chances are your budget's gonna be a lot higher, and therefore chances are you're probably not even gonna be considering the JBL 510 BTs to begin with. These do also come with a Bluetooth 5.0 connection, giving you better connectivity and better range, plus higher bandwidths. Now, even though these headphones don't offer any kind of active noise cancellation, I'm still rather impressed with the passive noise reduction that these are providing, simply when they're placed on my head and that seal is created over my ear when I'm wearing them. There's a lot of ambient and environmental noises that are being muffed out simply while wearing these. Is the sound quality gonna blow you away? No. Are things gonna sound a little narrow? Yes. Don't expect to be fully immersed in experiencing crazy spatial sound with these things, but I think at face value, you do have some very solid sound performance across the entire EQ spectrum, a little more emphasis on the bass section, and overall, I think you're gonna love your listening experience on pretty much all songs. But wireless headphones are only as good as their battery life, so how long could you actually expect these babies to last before you have to charge them up again? The battery life on the JBL Tune 510 BTs could actually support up to 40 hours of uninterrupted music listening. That's an impressive number for a budget-friendly pair of headphones, but don't forget that number's probably where it is because of there being no ANC or active noise cancellation built into these. So 40 hours of listening without ANC, and you do get USB-C based recharging with an LED indicator light for your battery status. But little side note here, the USB-C port is actually located on top of the right ear cup, a very weird location. It actually took me a minute or two to find out where it actually was before I rotated the ear cup and saw it. Not a huge deal, considering you're probably not often going to be using your headphones while they're charging anyway, and if you do want to listen to your headphones when they're completely dead, these puppies do also offer a quick charging feature with 2 hours of playback on just a quick 5-minute charge, arguably making the weird USB-C location pretty much a non-issue. But with all that having been said, here are my final thoughts on these JBL Tune 510 BT headphones and whether or not I think they're actually worth snagging for yourself. I know I cover a lot of expensive tech. I know that most of the headphones I've covered in the past cost several $100s, so when I finally got these puppies in my hand, I didn't really know what to expect. I guess you could say my hopes weren't really that high. But I could honestly say, after hours of listening, these probably are the best sounding budget-friendly pairs of headphones that I've tested to date, and for 3 reasons in particular. No, they're not the most high-quality feeling pairs of headphones. They definitely have some weird quirks about them, and they're on-ear instead of over-ear. But if you just want a pair of headphones that are gonna sound great, have a strong Bluetooth 5.0 connection, and keep your bank account in check, you're gonna be head over heels in love with these for all that they offer at their price point. Another very solid audio offering from JBL here. I love what JBL is doing lately. These are such a fantastic value, especially if you could get them at a discounted price. Speaking of which, if you guys wanted to stay on top of the latest deals, prices, and information for the JBL Tune 510 BT on-ear headphones, you guys could of course always head to my affiliate link, bmac.link/510BT, or of course, as always, there's gonna be a clickable link in the video description box below as well, so check that out. But with that having been said, if you want great sound on a budget, definitely. How many times do I have to say definitely before I think the point's across? Definitely check these out. You won't regret it. I will see you guys in my next video.